Oh, let's deep dive into Florida Georgia Week. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 from RV City to the TV studio. And we didn't get there that quick, but we wanted to illustrate something. Brent Martineau, Austen Lane, and we take you to the wall that says it all. We usually do this with Jags games, but we want to do it with Florida and Georgia a little bit. And the key to this football game coming up on Saturday afternoon in Jacksonville might be simply, can the Gators stop the run of Georgia?
Yeah.
That's it. If they can make them one-dimensional, we'll talk about Jake Fromm in a moment, but can they stop the run? And this is the South Carolina game, and they did not stop the run very well, but they're without guys like Zuniga, and I think especially Grenard on the defensive side. They're supposed to get healthy, be ready to go on Saturday. That's the word out of Gainesville, so that may be a fix, but they cannot allow plays like this to happen. 3rd and 11 in the third quarter. 3rd and 11 on the 21-yard line. They're just trying to set up to kick a field goal, man, and they give up a touchdown from 21 yards out.
So here's the problem. As we can see, it's 3rd down and 11. One would think it's going to be a pass, correct? I mean, I get it. You can run a draw here, but South Carolina's playing to win here. You know, that they're at home. They're feeling good. They want to pull off the upset right now. So let's go on here a little bit. And, you know, this kind of breaks my heart, Brent, because I may have made this play a couple times as a defensive end where I've got shoot out myself. And here's what happens, basically. It's 3rd and 11. So anytime I hear 3rd and 11 or 3rd and long, my ears are pinned back, and I'm thinking, playing the pass. The defensive end here to the right is thinking the same thing that I used to think all the time. Playing the pass. Go get your quarterback sacks. Go get your money. Unfortunately, he doesn't even really engage the tackle right here and just gets blown by the play.
Yeah, run out of the play.
Just run out of the play. Can't make a play. You have to keep in mind, if you're a defensive end and it's 3rd and long, you still have to gauge the tackle a little bit, then work off there. Hardly really do you want to not have your hands on him, just speed rush and get blown by. That's what happens here. So as you can see, the hole right here, wide open.
Okay, but again, it's 3rd and 11. Now he's at the 26. He's going to get 15 yards.
Exactly.
And what happens down here as we follow the sequence, and the Gators are in chase mode.
Pursuit.
And I think we're either going to get a pursuit problem, but also a tackling problem.
Absolutely. I mean, it's simple here. When you make a mental mistake like this, guys have to have your back. And unfortunately, the linebacking core, the other defensive linemen, whether they're gassed, they're tired, it's the 3rd quarter, it's South Carolina.
It was wet.
It's wet.
Maybe slippery.
Maybe it's pretty humid out there. I don't know. I mean, you can go ask Willie Tager what to do for hydration purposes. Whatever the issue is right now, guys look tired and guys are hustling to the football. And obviously, it's 8-8 out the gate, and then they get a big run from this.
Yeah, and this is a touchdown. I mean, it ends up being a touchdown run. And I mean, look at all the Gators here.
Yeah.
But they can't get them down. You know, even after the first down marker. So they've got to stop the run. By the way, if you're just joining us for the first time and watching Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, we're in RV City, of course, all week for Florida Georgia Week. But we do this a bunch, and you can listen to our show on ESPN 690 in your car, ESPN690.com. We like to illustrate this as best we can for your ears, but you can also watch this each and every week as we do a segment or two like this on the wall that says it all on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. So let's get to Jake Fromm now, okay? Because Jake Fromm feels like he's in a bit of a slump. He's been spectacular at Georgia. He is not like the Jalen Hurtses and the Tuas and all these guys, right, that Heisman candidates. He's just not. Joe Burrow's even this year. But he's a steady player that doesn't lose you football games. But he lost this game, once again, South Carolina in the fold because they beat Georgia.
Absolutely.
This is a 4th quarter game, man. This is when Georgia likes to wear people out.
Yeah.
And Jake Fromm made critical mistakes in the 4th quarter of that game when they lost to the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
Mistakes you just can't make.
And listen, it's mistakes like these, and it's really their lack of explosive plays why it's so important for Florida to stop the run. Because, in my opinion, I think Georgia's going to try to slow this game down a little bit and try to wear Florida out. You know, Georgia has the athletes to run and gun, but for whatever reason, they're not getting, those big looks this year. So as we're evaluating Georgia here, listen, one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in the entire country.
Absolutely.
As you can tell from the pocket right here.
Led by Solomon Kinley.
Exactly.
Raines High School.
There we go. So as you can see, as Fromm steps up in the pocket, I mean,
it's clean, man.
It's clean. It's absolutely clean.
I mean, just to go back to, if you're just listening, trips to the left, single wide receiver to the right.
Sure.
They're on the 44-yard line. It's 3rd and 3 in the 4th quarter with 9.5 to go. They're down a touchdown. So they're driving here. And then as the play develops, you're right, man, this is a clean pocket. There's not a lot of pressure on Fromm at all.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as we go down to the big slide over here, I mean, it's just a misthrow. You know, I mean, there's no other explanation. There's no pressure. The ball doesn't get tipped. It's just a really bad throw that South Carolina capitalizes on.
Let me ask you this. Should he have thrown, if we go back a sequence, he's got the back. Now,
he does.
Gamecocks have an eye on him.
They do.
Did he make the wrong read here, do you think, or is it just a terrible throw?
You know what? I think it was kind of predestined here where he's going with the ball. Because if you watch this play out, he doesn't turn to see anybody else. I think he's kind of keying in on the receiver a little bit.
They only need 3 yards.
Yeah, which is fine. You can key on the receiver, but then go ahead and make the play. Because when you key on the receiver, it gives the defensive back time to retaliate and try to get the interception. Well, it was such a bad throw where it didn't even matter where the corner was. The corner's getting the interception regardless.
This is why we wanted to illustrate this play, too, because there's a simplicity to this. This is just a simple play. I mean, this is a play that Jake Fromm's made a lot, and if he's not making these kind of plays, George is in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
He's played well in big games over these last couple of years. Well, this is a big game coming up on Saturday. I expect him to play well, but if he continues to be in a little bit of a slide, which he has been the last few weeks, well, then George is going to be in a lot of trouble because they need to convert this play against the Gators if they want to win.
Well, let's be honest. Florida's got some good pass rushers coming in. They have a good secondary, so hence why I think they want to pound the rock a little more, too, and try to wear out the Florida Gators.
Absolutely. All right, now let's go to the last slide here, and we bring in Kyle Trask. And this kid's been impressive, filling in for Felipe Franks, and he might even be, dare I say, better than Felipe Franks.
And it's crazy surprising, right? Because usually Mullen, he kind of likes those mobile quarterbacks. Not to say Trask isn't that mobile, but he would rather have maybe a Felipe Franks or an Emory Jones in the situation where he can kind of run and pass at the same time. Absolutely. That dual threat kind of quarterback. Kyle Trask is more of that traditional pocket passer.
So we got trips left. We got a single receiver right. The ball's down on the doorstep of LSU. They're down a touchdown in the second quarter, and this was right at the end of the half. So this might be the final play before they kick a field goal if they don't cash in.
Yeah.
And down 21-14, 9 seconds to go, second and goal. This is pretty simplistic as well, but I think there's some interesting design from Dan Mullen too.
Yeah, so obviously with Kyle Trask, man, playing in LSU, a crazy environment at night, this is kind of, I think, his coming out party. He kind of put his name on the map here a little bit. As you said, you got trips left here, and don't get it twisted. Florida, they have some good receivers and a fantastic tight end, so they're great in the passing game. As you see the play breakdown here, basically what we have is we got man coverage, and then they are double teaming number 10, I believe it is, right here in the middle.
So what I like to see right here, man, and Van Jefferson's eventually going to get that. He's the middle receiver. But look at how spread out Mullen gets the field.
I know.
To create the man-on-man and say, hey, we're going to beat you, even though you have a great secondary, LSU, even though you're great on defense, or, well, not great this year, but you have good players on defense. We think our guy can beat your guy, right?
Correct. And here's the beauty of it. Anytime you go with these spread offenses like this, Brett, this is what Dan Mullen loves to do. Because like I said before, he loves the dual threat kind of quarterback. And even though Trask might not be the fastest guy, if this play breaks down and the lanes open up like they do sometimes, Trask can take this ball in for, like a 6-yard run for a touchdown. So that always leaves the option there too. So that's why going with the spread right here is so vital.
All right, here's what I love. Here's what I think you should love if you're a Gator fan about Kyle Trask. It's a big game, right? Huge game on the road. And they lose the game. But like you said, he got a lot of respect. He played well for the most part. Made a couple mistakes, but he played well. And in the loud part of the stadium, right, in the end zone, he's able to make really a perfect play. Look at the end of this. Just a smash concept route by Jefferson at the end of the day. But really, if we take you down to the last sequence, the ball's already in the air. Jefferson's just coming out of his break. He's actually being held on the play.
Okay, of course, we have a little holding right here, but it's the perfect throw, right? And it's a throw where only Jefferson can make it. And that's the most important part, where if you're going to make a mistake in the end zone, make it so nobody else can get the interception. And that's exactly what Trask does right here.
All right, so there you go. Touchdown by Kyle Trask. Good play. Can he play well in another big game here in Jacksonville? Played well, didn't win. You got to win big games now. Jake Fromm's proven he's been able to do that. Kyle Trask, will he be able to do it in Jacksonville on Saturday? We got a fantastic matchup in the River City, and we'll talk more about it, of course, not only the rest of the show, but also tomorrow as RV City and the River City gets all fired up for a weekend of college football and a game that means everything in the SEC East. When we come back, more Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau and Austen Lane, thanks for hanging out with us.